With a song in my heart, the story of men and their music, of composers who really had a song in their heart.
Top of your head to the tip of your toes, you're beautiful. Yes, and baby, what's more, life is heavily in your caress. From the top of your head to the tip of your toes, you're wonderful. You're the hit of the show, you're the cameo of loveliness.
Oh, what eyes you have, oh, what lips you have,
oh, what lovely features.
Talk about adorable creatures. You have so many thrillables,
but I'm all out of syllables.
From the top of your head to the tip of your toes, you're marvelous, glorious. You are simply divine. From top to tip, you're tip-top, and to top it all, you're mine.
That song was written by a young Englishman named Harry Revel, who, like many other composers, commenced his musical career with his mind set on serious music. Call it highbrow if you like. But somehow or other, after a long study of serious music on the continent, he eventually migrated to fame and fortune in Tin Pan Alley. How did it come about? Well, it all commenced something like this. In London one day, Revel's father said to him,
Harry, I have some good news for you.
What is it, Dad?
We're leaving London.
Gosh, Dad, what's good about that? I love dear old London.
And so do I, son. But you've always told me that you'd like to further your musical studies on the continent.
Don't tell me, Dad, that we're going to live on the continent.
For a few years, yes.
Oh, Dad, that's great news. Where are we going to?
My business takes me to all the European capitals. Paris, Berlin, Vienna, Madrid, and Rome.
Oh, that's simply great.
I thought it would appeal to you, Harry, but there's one thing you must always keep in mind.
What's that, Dad?
The word work. You've chosen music as a career. See to it that whilst we're abroad, you make the most of your opportunity.
I will, I promise.
And that's how it came about that this lucky young man was able to absorb the best in continental music. Maybe when he heard this news, he felt like one of his song hits of later years, his rhythmic, I feel like a feather in the breeze.
I feel like a feather in the breeze, riding on high, high in the sky. Honey, and I'm walking on air since the moment that you told me that you care. Feel like a feather in the breeze, floating through space in your embrace, dancing on clouds way up above. Since the second that you beckoned to my love, I'm happy, so happy when you're near. My troubles just disappear. As soon as you're by my side, I'm satisfied. I feel like a feather in the breeze, having my fun, kissing the sun, and it's because you were the one. So I'm singing like the birdies in the trees, and feeling like a feather in the breeze. Like a feather in the breeze, having a fun, kissing the sun, and it's because you were the one. So I'm singing like the birdies in the trees, and feeling like a feather in the breeze.
Through living in various capital cities for months at a time, Harry Revel became a fine linguist. He speaks many languages well. This enabled him to join a continental orchestra and make a long tour with them. He then settled in Berlin, where he wrote the score for a German operetta, Was Frauen träumen. This, incidentally, was quite a success. Revel was definitely on the way up. But somehow or other, he wasn't content. Discussing it with an English friend one day, he said,
I suppose I should feel pretty pleased with myself. Somehow or other, I'm not.
Why, Harry, what makes you say that? There's very few composers at the age of 25 who've done what you have.
What? Written a German success?
Yes, after all, that's really something.
Possibly it is, but somehow or other I feel that shows of that kind belong to the past. I've been making a close study of the music of Gershwin, Kern, and Berlin. They're really great composers.
Oh, but surely they belong to the popular class of writers.
Maybe they do, but they write glorious melodies in a new and entirely different style.
But their compositions are only of the lighter type.
Granted, but it's the treatment they give them. Look, we regard Europe as the home of good music. But walk into any cinema, theater, or cafe. What do you hear? Nothing but the hit songs of America. And that goes whether you happen to be in Barcelona, Copenhagen, or Budapest. I've made up my mind to go to the States. And I'm leaving just as soon as I can get away.
And, true to his word, Harry Revel hit New York somewhere about 1929. And within a couple of years had landed a hit like Underneath the Harlem Moon, a real smash. Another one of his big hits was Thanks for Everything.
Thanks for everything, every word, every sigh, every kiss. Thanks for everything, for bringing me moments like this, for taking the skies of gray and making them blue, for taking my cares away. I tip my heart to you. So thanks for everything, every thrill in your tender caress. Thanks to you alone for all that I'll ever possess. You gave me my reason to dream, then made every dream come true. And so, for everything, my thanks to you.
The success of that song clinched Revel's right to a spot on the music map. But it came to him only after he had tried to break into Broadway the hard way. Yes, he did the rounds of the big publishing houses like so many have to do, and without any great degree of success. The turning point arrived when he first met Mac Gordon, a vaudeville artist who dabbled in song lyrics. This pair were in complete contrast to each other. Revel, short and cultured. Gordon, a typical vaudeville artist who looked and was as big as the average wrestler. He weighed a mere 300 pounds, a regular 2-ton Tony. When they first met, Revel said,
Mac, how would you like to team up with me?
Write songs for a living? Huh, no, sir. You forget I gotta eat.
Don't we all? But I feel if we really got together, we'd go places.
Maybe we could, but to settle down to a songwriting career? That's a hazardous profession.
I know. But I feel with your undoubted ability for lyric writing, plus my musical background, it'd only be a matter of time before we landed a hit.
You might be right, brother, but I'm going to keep on doing what I've been doing. That is, play vaudeville dates and write songs as a sideline. That way I'm certain to eat.
And believe me, Mac Gordon took a lot of breaking down. But then Harry Revel is one of those persistent men. And he finally traveled with Gordon on his variety tour before he succeeded in getting him as a partner. However, they finally did get together, and the great songwriting combination of Gordon and Revel was born. Their first effort was to write the music for an all-Negro revue. The great Ziegfeld saw this show and sent for the team.
I brought you boys here this afternoon to tell you I liked your songs in that colored review, Fast and Furious.
It's nice of you to say that, Mr. Ziegfeld.
Nice. It's terrific.
Good. Well, let's get down to facts. How would you boys like to write the music for my next follies?
What a duck like to swim. We'd just love to.
That goes for me, too.
Fine, fine. Well, I'll set a date with my producer and have him meet some of the stars of the show. I've got a mighty good cast. There's Fanny Bryce, Harry Richmond, Helen Morgan, and Ruth Eddy.
Well, if we can't write hits for them, we can't write hits. What say, Harry?
I quite agree, Mac. And thanks, Mr. Ziegfeld. When do we start?
And that was the break that really caused the names of Gordon and Revel to hit the headlines. They wrote some splendid songs for that lavish review, and from then on, did nothing else but. One of their most nostalgic melodies came from a talkie they wrote around 1934. It was called College Rhythm, and featured Jack Oakey, Helen Mack, and that evergreen singer of popular songs, Lanny Ross. Song, Stay as Sweet as You Are.
Stay as sweet as you are. Don't let a thing ever change you. Stay as sweet as you are. Don't let a soul rearrange you. Don't ever lose all the charm you'll possess. Your loveliness, darling, the way you say yes. Stay as sweet as you are, discreet as you are. You're divine, dear. Stay as grand as you are, and as you are, tell me that you're mine, dear.
Young and gay or old and gray, near to me or afar.
Night and day I pray that you'll always stay as sweet as you are.
Stay as sweet as you are, discreet as you are, you're divine, dear. Stay as grand as you are, and as you are, tell me that you're mine, dear.
Young and gay or old and gray, near to me or afar. I pray that you'll always stay as sweet as you
By this time, of course, Gordon and Revel were receiving very useful royalty checks. Maybe this is the reason why they worked spasmodically. For weeks at a time, Gordon wrote no lyrics, Revel no music. And then...
Say, Mac, don't you think it's time we got together again? We haven't written a song for too long.
Perhaps you're right, Harry. But you know, I'm a bit like yourself, find it hard to settle down.
Well, there's only one thing for it.
You mean?
Yes. We lock ourselves in a room with a piano tomorrow, and we stay put until we've written some new songs.
I can't say I look forward to that. But still, I suppose it's got to be done.
Okay, then. We meet at 2 p.m. tomorrow and work till unconscious.
And that's just how they got along. But when they did settle down to work, it really meant work. It was during one of these sessions they wrote a hit that Bing Crosby was to make famous in his early days. The smash we knew as, Did You Ever See a Dream Walking?
Did you ever see a dream walking? Well, I did.
Did you ever hear a dream talking? Well, I did. Did you ever have a dream thrill you with will you be mine?
Oh, it's so grand and it's too divine. Did you ever see a dream dancing? Well, I did.
Did you ever see a dream romancing? Well, I did. Did you ever find heaven right in your arms, saying I love you, I do? Well, the dream that was walking and the dream that was talking and the heaven in my arms was you.
Did you ever see a dream dancing? Well, I did.
Did you ever see a dream romancing? Well, I did. Did you ever find heaven right in your arms, saying I love you, I do? Well, the dream that was walking and the dream that was talking and the heaven in my arms was you.
Turning out hit after hit as they did made them two of Hollywood's most favored sons. And they were to write the songs for many Hollywood epics. One of the reasons for their success was their ability to turn out any type of song. For instance, when they were given the assignment for a Gracie Allen George Burns talkie called Love in Bloom, the director told them,
Now, boys, this film is somewhat different to any you've worked on to date, featuring, as it does, that great comedy team of Burns and Allen. I want you to keep in mind that it will need snappy songs, not ballads like you've been writing for Crosby.
Well, that shouldn't worry us, Harry.
No, as long as you don't fall down on any bright new ideas.
Huh? Can you beat that? I give him nothing but bright and original ideas, and he passes a crack like that.
All right. Can the kidding, boys. All I want you to remember is, give us some bright melodies.
and in this particular film they gave us plenty. One I recall from it was, Here Comes Cookie.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, walking down the street. Looky, 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 I call her Cookie, 'cause she's sweet. Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, what a lucky break. Looky, 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 I call her Cookie, 'cause she takes the cake. When she's near, my lips say oh, and my heart says ah, tra-la-la. When she kisses, oh, it's T&T for two. Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, gotta fix my tie. Just a little angel playing hooky, from heaven on high, oh my, sweet as pumpkin pie. When she's near, my lips say oh, and my heart says ah, tra-la-la-la. When she kisses, oh, it's T&T for two. Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, gotta fix my tie. Just a little angel playing hooky, from heaven on high, oh my, sweet as pumpkin pie.
By way of contrast, shortly after this, they were given the job of writing the score for Paris in the Spring, a musical talkie starring that star of the stage, Mary Ellis.
Mac, this new talkie, it gives me real inspiration.
Well, anyone is lucky to be able to write music for an artist like Mary Ellis.
Sure, but the title Paris in the Spring.
What about it?
Did you ever really see Paris in the Spring?
No such luck.
Let me tell you something. I've lived in Paris in the spring. And when it's springtime in that great French city...
What happens?
I don't know, but something seems to get you. The very atmosphere of the place. Oh, it's enchanting.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's put it in a song.
And they certainly did. in a most charming way.
Paris in the spring, love is in the air, life's a love affair, and every pair of arms a rendezvous for two. Paris in the spring, hearts begin to dance, and in every glance you'll find an invitation to romance. You must fall, you simply can't evade love. The moon is there to aid love. Find someone you can call your own. You're to blame if you're alone. Da-da-da-doo. It's grand, it's new. It's me, it's you. Every beating heart becomes a part of Paris in the spring. Every beating heart becomes a part of Paris in the
spring. When World War II got underway, the team of Gordon and Revel parted. Revel threw himself into war work and staged shows for returning disabled troops. He spent most of his time in hospital entertainment and gave his all to brighten the days for those GIs. A song he wrote during the war pretty well sums up Harry Revel's thoughts during that time. It makes a nice finale to his story, too. The song was Love Thy Neighbor.
Love thy neighbor, walk up and say, how be you? Gee, but I'm glad to see you, pal. How's tricks? What's new? Love thy neighbor, offer to share his burden. Tell him to say the word and you will see him through. Especially if there should be a beautiful girl next door. You say to that girl next door, now don't think I'm bold, but my mother told me to love thy neighbor, and you will find your labor a great deal easier. Life will be breezier if you love your neighbor.
Especially if there should be a beautiful girl next door. A beautiful boy must score, for she'll never score, 'cause her mother told her to
love thy neighbor, and you will find your labor a great deal easier. Life will be breezier if you love your neighbor. If you love your neighbor.
And so we conclude the Harry Revel story, a composer who, in a few short years, made his name a headliner in his chosen profession. The artists reviving his times and melodies were Keith Hudson, Walter Pym, George Randill, Eula Parker and her Parkettes, Max Blake and Jack Bogart. Your compere was John Morgan. Orchestra and chorus under the baton of William Flynn. With a Song in My Heart was produced by Alfred Potter and scripted and directed by Jack O'Hagan.